Welcome guys to this video for some of my best of the 80s music CDs. So first up is Irene Cara. So this actually is not a greatest hits CD. It's actually her second of three solo CDs, but this was her most successful album. So it has most of her hits on it, including Flashdance, What a Feeling, which is from the Flashdance movie and soundtrack, hence the title of her album, What a Feeling. So this CD is actually the second edition, and it was released by Unidisc Music, a company in Canada, who I believe purchased the rights to the album from Network or Geffen Records, the original record company. So what they did was they actually made it like a deluxe edition. So they changed the track listing because Flashdance was actually the first song on side two. But here you see, because it's the biggest hit, they changed it to the first song on the album. They also included extended editions of her other hits, Why Me, Breakdance, The Dream, Hold On to Your Dream. And there's also an extended remix of Flashdance What a Feeling and also an instrumental version. So this is like a deluxe edition of that album. So it's almost like a greatest hits, like I said before, because most of her hits came from this album. There was the Fame soundtrack, of course, which she did the title song, and that soundtrack album had two other songs by her, Out Here on My Own and Hot Lunch Jam, but they never released an actual greatest hits album for Irene Cara, not as of yet. So hopefully one day they will, but until then, this is the closest that you'll get to it. Just a quick little look on the inside. They added more pictures from the photo session that weren't included on the original album, which is really cool. And also, I forgot to mention that there was actually a bonus track called "Talk Too Much," which was on the B side to one of her singles from the album. So if you can't pick this up, this is a nice early '80s synth pop dance album. So moving on, we have the best of Bananarama. So this particular CD I got as an import, and this I believe was given away with a newspaper in England. So I sought this particular CD out because it includes the song More Than Physical, which a lot of times it does not get included on most of the Bananarama Greatest Hits CDs. So More Than Physical was released after Venus in a remix form, and the remix sounds a lot like Venus. So that's like one of my favorite songs by them. So again, this was like a special giveaway in England with some type of special newspaper. So I was able to find this, and it's tough finding a CD that has all of their songs on it, all of the hits. I believe there's currently Greatest Hits of Two CD, Greatest Hits CD in America that you can get that has most of them now. But at the time, this was as close as I could find to having all of the songs that I liked by them. So moving on, we have uh, Best of the 80s, Kajagoogoo and Lamal. So this is where I got the name of for my video, Best of the 80s. This was a series of CDs that were released, I believe, in England or someplace outside of the United States, where I found that they had most of the hits that I was looking for. Sometimes in the US, you'll find a greatest hit CD, and some of the hits are missing that you like, and then you're stuck buying multiple CDs just to have all the hits on one CD. So this particular compilation in a series features the group Kajagoogoo, which had the big hit "Too Shy," "Hush Hush," "Eye to Eye." You know, most people know that song. They also have their other hits, which were modern successes like "Ooh to Be Ah," "Hang On Now." And if you watch the movie 16 Candles, the first song that plays during the opening scene is called Kajagoogoo. That's the name of the song, and it's included in here. Also, the lead singer Lee Mall, he left the group after their first album, White Feathers, I believe. And he had a big hit on his own called Never Ending Story from the movie of the same title. And I believe that is also included as the last track on here. So you're getting both his solo big hit and also the big hits from the group, which is cool. Moving right along is the second CD that I have in this series, the Culture Club and Boy George collection. It's kind of similar to the Kajagoogoo CD in that it includes both hits from Culture Club and a few by solo hits by Boy George. So here you see the cover. Here's the back. Now, what's also interesting about this is that their second big album, or their second album, was called Color by Numbers. So I didn't know until I found the CD that there's actually a song called Color by Numbers, and it's only found on this particular CD from what I understand. Now they messed up on the title on the CD. They put Color My Numbers, but it should be Color by Numbers. But at any rate, it's you're getting the song, which is like a bonus track, and then you're getting some of the later songs, solo songs by Boy George. So it has all the big hits that you look for, which I'm very happy to have. And I love this series in that all of the artwork and the packaging is bright and clear, and it's just like very attractive. There are a few CDs in the series that I'd love to get. Um, I believe there's one for the group Scandal featuring Patti Smythe, which could be my next purchase. Moving right along, we have Eurythmics Greatest Hits. So when this CD came out, this is actually an import as well. So when the US version of this album came out, it was missing the songs Right by Your Side and Sex Crimes 1984. So upon checking, I was able to locate this CD, this import copy, which had the songs on it. Now, a couple of years later, there was a Eurythmics Greatest Hits, our deluxe edition, our ultimate collection, which finally included those songs. But I had it before when I found this import. Again, if they're on the same record label, I'm not sure why they would be excluded, because you want to have as many hits as possible for a group, especially if they don't have a lot of hits. I'm not saying that about Eurythmics in particular, but just there's some groups in general where you're looking at, you don't remember five songs, and then one of the five is missing, and you're like, why is this not on here? So at any rate, this is the track listing, and like I said, it does include Right by Your Side and also Sex Crimes 1984, which is, I believe, a movie at the time that they did the soundtrack for, or the hits, or the title track for. So next up we have Wham, and this is called The Final. So what's interesting about this is, I'm not sure if this is an import or not. There's actually two Wham Greatest Hits CDs out. One called The Final, and the other one is called The Best So Far, or something to that extent. Anyway, so what got me to get this one is that this one out of the two is the only one that included Careless Whisper. So I'm thinking that's like one of their biggest hits, and I don't understand why it would be excluded. So I went ahead and got this one because it had Careless Whisper. But I was a little skeptical because one of my favorite songs, Everything She Wants, is a remix is on here instead of the originals. But luckily for me, the remix just basically sounds like the single version, just extended, like an album version of the version that you hear on the radio, which isn't bad. Plus, this has Last Christmas. It says Pudding Mix, but I believe it's the same version that you actually see on, or actually you hear on the radio. So this is like the CD that has most of their hits collected. Now, I believe there's a new import collection by Wham that's supposed to have like 8 CDs, or like some type of ultimate packaging that's out now. So for now, this pretty much takes care of all my Wham needs at this point. I'm glad to have this in my collection. So moving on is the very first US version, Duran Duran's Greatest Hits album called Decade. So here's a look at the cover. Here is a look at the back. And I love that crazy artwork. The only gripe I have about this CD is that it's missing one of their songs called "New Moon on Monday," which was a big hit for them in the '80s. Of course, since then there's been multiple Duran Duran compilations released with that includes Blue Moon on, or New Moon on Monday, which is not included here. So you do have a choice, but at the time, I think I brought this CD late, like very late after it was released. As you can see, it doesn't have a barcode. I believe it came from the Music Club, but it has most of the big hits that I love and remember from the group. So it's, and I didn't pay that much for it. So, it'll do for the time being. So the very last CD that I'll be showing you today is the Tears for Fears version or edition of the Millennial Collection, the 20th Century Masters collection. So uh, here is the back. And as you can see, the track listings, it has most of their biggest hits that you remember. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Shout, Sowing the Seeds of Love, Head Over Heels, and others. So again, there are a few collections or compilations that I'd love to add to this 80s collection, such as Scandal featuring Patti Smythe, The Waitresses, and I believe Men at Work. So thanks for watching this video for most of my best 80s compilation music CDs. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave comments for me or like my video. Let me know if you have any of these or which ones are your favorite. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments for me. Enjoy your day and have a good one.